Welcome to MJ Sailing. We're Matt and Jessica, a couple that left Michigan for the nomadic lifestyle 7 years ago. Recently, we refitted an aluminum boat to sail to the Arctic and explore some of the more remote areas of the planet. Thanks for joining the adventure. Hello, learning how to work a camera for the first time. Still have all of our polarized filters on. We are on our way today to Dazcat Marine. We have this follower, Walter, who's an awesome guy. Took us out to dinner just before we went to Tenerife. And now that we're back, he got in touch with us to say, you know, I know you're going to be in the process of building a catamaran, and I know Simon, who heads up the workyard over at Dazcat, and they build kind of like mold catamarans, do custom things over there, and he's going to take us over so we can kind of see the process.
We're going to cheat on elements right now, so don't tell him.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really cool thing to see the process before we get ourselves into it. Do we see him yet? We don't know what he's driving.
We're a few minutes early.
We are, which is good.
Yeah.
Usually we're not.
Yes, we are.
Plymouth sits right on the border of Devon and Cornwall, and to get over to Dazcat, which sits on the Cornish side of Plymouth Harbor, we had the chance to take the ferry across the River Tamar. A nice chance to check out one of the next areas we're planning to cruise with elements this season. Just got on the ferry right now to hop across the Tamar River to get to Dazcat, and I think we're going to go up on the top balcony for a better view.
This is so storybook, isn't it?
And as we're learning the more we get out, a trip through the English countryside is not finished until you're driving on a road you're sure is meant for only one car, until you see another one coming right at you. We like this part much better when neither of us is behind the wheel. We've just made it to the Dazcat yard now, which actually happens to be in Cornwall. Kind of funny how Plymouth is the borderline between Devon and Cornwall. First time here. So we are going to be talking to Simon, who is on the building side of Dazcat. Daz is the designer and Simon is the builder, so I'm sure he's going to have a lot of good information for us today. And lovely Walter, who brought us here.
That's far enough, isn't it?
Oh, do the elbow bump.
Matt and Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us. Well, you can tell us about a crazy process we're about to get ourselves into.
Oh, you got a big one over here.
This is sort of the layout of the saloon and seeing out the windows. So,
Well, that's one of the things I noticed is you guys actually have paid attention to that, where you have visibility sitting in the salon.
30 years. So there's,
okay.
there's multiple. We've actually got the very first Dazcat here.
Getting just a general overview of the yard and what is done there, Simon brought us on a Dazcat 1295, which is slightly smaller than the size we're looking to build, but we knew it would give us a better understanding of layouts and living space, as well as sailing capabilities.
You're not down. I mean, we call it, you know, some people call galley up, galley down. We call it galley in the right place.
Galley, and you're still in the open.
I actually assumed it was more like the Sea Wind, where you were down
Too
and
low,
yeah. Yep.
Because the you know, the fundamentals of the design process, like you're saying about the bunks in the beam, is that if you have the galley up, that means you've got to have this point and the windows up, which forces the square entry or a much taller coach roof. So accepting that you're seeing out from sitting down in the saloon or standing down at this level that's what makes the geometry of the boat work.
It is definitely a different approach to it, but it works so well.
So socially is the other aspect, because you know, if you're here chopping away, you know, you're all very much together.
Yeah.
But you can cruise. I mean, you cruise yours.
No, it's Darren is the designer. Does he call himself Daz?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know if that was.
Yeah. Well, Darren, Daz, you know, it's just a nickname, you know.
Yeah.
So different people calling different things. Anyway, so we're here at the Multihull Center in southeast Cornwall in the UK. Probably Europe's oldest multi-hull specialist boatyard, and on board Slinky Malinky, which is a Dazcat 1295. I'm Simon Baker, and I'm one of the co-owners of Multihull Center and Multi-Marine Manufacturing, who produce the Dazcat range as well as build other boats. Yeah, we've had a busy few years of quite extraordinary, interesting projects. We've got a Dazcat 1495 on the go at the moment, which is for a guy in a wheelchair. So we've taken some fairly stock hulls and then made a new coach roof and a different reconfiguration, and working with his desires and, you know, requirements.
That's incredible. Yeah.
So that's one project. We've got another powerboat for a guy in a wheelchair as well. That's nearing completion. That one's a little bit under wraps, so can't say too much about that one. But when that one comes out, it's going to be an interesting boat.
Are these UK buyers, or are they?
Predominantly UK. I mean, we have built for overseas guys, but we tend to build with guys that want to be a little bit involved in the projects.
That makes sense. Yeah.
We've got some stock designs. Yeah, the Dazcat 1295, 1495. We've got an 1895 now. So we've got a sort of stock range of boats where people can say, actually, I'll have one of those. So sometimes then they don't have to get as involved.
Yeah.
But we like it when people do want to come and see their babies get built, really. So that's what we found with the guys we've ended up building the accessible boats for, is that the general mainstream builders, they start off, they struggle to get on board the boats at the boat shows, and then if they do manage to engage with them, they tend to say, no, you've got to just take it as it is, we can't do anything, because they've got a production line to maintain. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
And so that's where we do our case, because we then offer a fully tailorable, customizable service. And
I worked in the car industry, and that was the same thing. You know, manufacturers aren't building mobility vehicles. You had to go to a specialized, someone that knew it. A lot of it's because the engineering they haven't done the engineering, where the people that have obviously built these things in the past have done it, and it is a different world, though. You know, it's, and especially like something in boats, as complex as they are, to be able to go through and modify it to the extent that you are is just amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll show you the boat that we're doing in a bit, and then you'll better see what we do. And then we've got the gunboat Rainmaker that was lost at sea a couple of years ago, got washed up in Bermuda, and then the guy that we know bought it from the insurers, shipped it across to Southampton, then a tugboat towed it down here, and we picked it up at 7 o'clock one New Year's Eve in the morning, in the dark, hauled it out here, and
Happy New Year.
Obviously, the Dazcat lines you have are built more for performance and racing. And like you take them out, many of them are racers. Are some of them cruisers as well?
Well, the Dazcat 1, which we've also got in the yard, was originally Darren's boat. When he left school, he built it. So that's a racing boat. And then over the years, the boats have got bigger and more cruisy. Now, we do use racing as a vehicle to promote our boats because that's what we enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably a third of our boats race and 2/3 of them cruise. Now, it's only because we're here working in the boatyard, and a race is a good way of going sailing for a weekend or a week and coming back to work.
Yeah.
You know, Darren and I don't have the luxury of being able to go cruising.
Yeah.
So racing is a way of
Well,
doing it and proving what we do.
Well, this is remarkably livable. It's extremely livable, obviously, for this length too. The fact that they're able to this usable space, the galley, and everything like that.
We don't encourage people. You know, I don't think this particular boat is sort of a full-on liveaboard, keep piling junk on. You know, I know when my folks had their monohull and they came to sell it, and my mother has spent a week pulling knickers out of cupboards
Yeah.
and old tins of paint. You
Uh-huh.
know, that's what these boats aren't about. You know, you've got to respect that if you want it to sail as well as they do, you can't carry 2 kitchen sinks.
Yeah.
Just settle for the one.
Yeah. So you do have people that are actively cruising liveaboard on them as well, or
I'd say less so. I mean, there are people that are spending good amount of time, but probably not full time.
well, that's what. How many boats have you built then for under the Dazcat name? You know?
I think probably 30, 35.
Oh,
around
okay.
that. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
we've only done probably, you know, Dazcat's been going 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've done other boats that aren't Dazcats as well,
Yeah.
but we only build 1 or 2 boats a year.
Okay. Well, it's because it's a name that I've heard for a long time. Yet in the Caribbean, I hadn't seen one. And that was, like I said, my questions. I didn't know how many you guys built, or
Yeah.
if they mostly hang around the UK in the Med, or what. But
I mean, they're around, but they're just very few
there's
of them.
not enough of them.
Yeah. For it to be mainstream, but because we've been going for, you know, Darren's been at it for I think 32, or it's either 32 or 33 years now.
That's incredible. Nada, and
Shall
I
we
realize.
tour the yard a little more and take in a
Yeah, I
couple
would
of
love
us?
to.
All right.
That's
How
it.
many were on your...
After our tour of the 1295, we had the chance to tour the yard to see a few of the other boats produced by Darren and Simon over the years. It was interesting to be able to compare Dazcat 1, the first boat ever built by the company, which was just a weekend racer, and watch the progression to where it is now. Just a few years ago, they produced the Dazcat 1495, a comfortable racer cruiser that has the capabilities of offshore racing. Currently owned by Simon, who's showing us around the yard, he's entered it in numerous races over the years, winning in categories in their class and hitting speeds of 23 knots in the process. Then, it was into the sheds to see the real behind-the-scenes action of what it's like building a catamaran from the ground up. The one we were viewing, though, was extra special. Artemis is being built as a fully wheelchair-accessible, high-performance exploration sailing boat, which is starting to become less one of a kind, as accessible boats is something Dazcat is getting a reputation for. So although this layout would differ from the same size yacht we're hoping to build for ourselves, it was still great to get a first-hand look at all that is entailed. from the pro builder heading this operation are enough to get us even more excited about all the possibilities ahead.
Well, it's been such a privilege today to be able to go through and see all these steps that they're going through at Dazcat to build these boats. Things that hopefully we don't have to deal with, but it was a great refresher to see what the next couple of years of our lives are going to be. That smell, the smell of epoxy and fiberglass dust in the air, all these things that are going to allow us to sit down and make sure this is really going to be the right choice for us. Also, Simon gave us some great tips too, things that they're doing on their boats that we should be able to implement on our own that aren't in the designs that we're going to be able to modify and make work. Just smart little details, things that I've never seen on any other cats that they do on Dazcats. So we'll have a little touch, a little dash of Dazcats in ours.
Pandemonium.